puked on the floor here.
Well, there was no puke. There was no puke.
I just imagine
There was
Stephen
blood.
laying down an eyeball is just slowly falling out of its socket.
I put it back though.
Yeah,
put it
Eyeballs falling back to the skull.
Here we go. I'm going to start. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
On this episode of the Culture Smash cast,
Iron Man's got some fancy new duds.
and Michael Myers is back again.
Xbox gets a long-awaited backwards compatibility. All that, plus I've been thinking about my doorbell. When are you going to ring it? When are you going to ring it?
I thought Dwayne's was supposed to be funny.
I did too. I don't know what
I'm waiting
happened.
for the joke.
If some of them aren't funny, then the ones that are funny aren't funny. Wait, what? No, no.
Oh man, yeah, it's nice if I turn the volume down there on the music thing.
I think I feel like I'm missing something.
You are missing plenty of things, but it's unimportant. I'm gonna start the other show. Here we go. It's the Culture Smash cast, episode 363 for June 17th, 2015. I'm Stephen Lackey, editor of CultureSmash.tv.
Dwayne hit control.
Ah, yeah,
I
failed.
loved it. Can we go
Failed.
back?
No going
Can we go
back
back?
now. We're
Okay.
live, baby. We're
Dwayne
live.
Tate contributed to CultureSmash.tv.
Yeah, disappointing.
That wasn't even the order it was going to go in.
I know,
totally wasn't.
I know. I was trying to surprise.
He
I was
was,
trying
yeah,
to throw
trying
a
to
curveball.
like, keep some action.
We gotta have a curveball every so often.
Got to. We gotta have the Shyamalan twist.
No,
Hey, that should be
no,
advanced.
I actually don't think we need to have a Shyamalan twist.
You could do the twist. Let's do the twist.
Unfortunately, more often than not, they don't work out well.
That's true.
The
Not
Shyamalan twist is everyone gets up and twists, and then you stab the person. No one saw it coming.
You didn't know that was gonna happen, did you?
No. The Shyamalan twist is everyone gets up and shakes left to the right, and turns out it's the trees.
It's the tree.
And then we have to go to. I'll
And
have
then
to
it
go to the
turns out it's just a
chiropractor.
crappy movie all along.
And it's Nicholas Qualls, contributor to
Thank
CultureSmash.tv.
And Mike Young, contributor to CultureSmash.tv.
Yeah.
I can almost talk.
Yeah.
He
Zach,
wasn't surprised.
you got anything to say?
Oh, was that my introduction?
Yeah,
Oh,
no, there's
what?
Zachary.
I'm Zach Martin, contributor to CultureSmash.tv.
Yeah. Nice.
Excellent.
Mower of lawns,
Yes. Yes.
fixer of phones.
He mowed the lawn. I don't know if you noticed that.
I fixed
Yeah, I saw
my
the
first iPhone
poke salad
screen
stall
last week.
company.
Oh, I cut that down.
Okay.
Yeah. We
Which
have
iPhone?
poke salad going
It's
in my front
easy
yard.
enough.
Which iPhone?
It
I
was
went in
not-
my backyard
Yeah,
once.
those
It
are
was
the
8 foot tall.
It wasn't horrible. The
I don't know if it's good or bad. It's really super
The,
annoying though, because
Yeah,
it was
it's
growing
like
up the
a
column in
good.
front of the
and
house.
the speaker, that kind of little stuff.
Oh, the.
All right, nobody cares about your stupid
That's the
iPhone.
worst part.
You know the best way to fix an iPhone is buy an Android phone.
That's true.
Or
That's pretty
just,
accurate.
or just buy Xbox One. Microsoft has revealed new details about how the upcoming Xbox One backwards compatibility feature will work. During a demonstration today, or whenever this article was written, the company confirmed Xbox One owners
It was today or yesterday. I'm not sure.
will be able to play sometime this week. The company confirmed Xbox One owners will be able to play older titles online with gamers who own an Xbox 360, and also explained a bit more about what functionality the games will have. The Xbox button on the controller will take you to a soon-to-be revamped Xbox One home screen, but pressing the view and menu buttons simultaneously will bring up the old Xbox 360 guide, replete with all its features.
Nice.
Screenshots and DVR
Sick.
support are also present. As for why putting a disc in triggers a download, it was explained the system's design menu means all games must be partially on the hard drive to run. It's also worth noting that while this is essentially software emulation, hardware won't be supported, so old Rock Band peripherals and the like still won't work. Finally, a word of caution.
Yes.
When the system launches this holiday, it will do so with over 100 titles, but publishers will need to give their permission for games to work. This does raise the question of whether those who've recently released HD remasters will want to enable it right away, but for now, we'll have to wait and see.
I watched the presentation on that.
Uh-huh.
Literally, that's all they have to do. They don't have to do anything except say, okay, you can do it.
Okay.
They flipped the switch, which is what people were complaining about 2 years ago.
Well, they didn't just flip a switch. There was a whole lot more that went into that. And you should know this with what you know about computers. The architecture is completely different between one system and the other.
Yeah.
And you don't think that if they really wanted to, they would get on this and have it patched in within a month?
There-
No,
the thing is,
I don't think
You've
that.
only got so many developers. You've only got so much time.
And also, most people, especially in that first 6 months, it's dominated by early adopters who could give two craps about backwards compatibility. They want to see new hot games, and that's what their focus was.
Backwards compatibility is a marketing ploy to make people think, oh, all these old games aren't worthless anymore. And I don't know that it's quite as necessary as it was.
It's only hardcore retro gamers that bitch about it.
You mean like regular gamers?
No.
Well, see, I would even say your hardcore retro gamers are going to hold on to their own systems because they don't want. Emulation is never going to be the original experience.
Right.
So there's always the big thing here. My Rock Band stuff doesn't work, so already I'm not getting rid of mine.
Yeah.
Which is odd because I thought I heard with the new Rock Band the old stuff was going to work. So.
But that probably has to be something in software.
It could be. It could be
to make that work. But the cool thing is in the presentation, if you were somebody who had bought digital games on the 360,
yes,
those games will just automatically start popping into your library.
That is fantastic.
No,
because I buy
a
metric shit ton of digital games on Xbox.
Thank you, Mr. Explicit.
Oh, man.
We're still PG-13.
We're still PG-13, it's true.
I'm still Jurassic World level.
Yeah, exactly, it's true. And even as much as I don't care about backwards compatibility that much, it's still really cool to think about some of the indie games and that kind of stuff that might start popping up that were only on 360. So there was... Are you guys following E3 at all?
Yeah.
Here and there.
Well, if you want to know about something that's not Xbox related, somebody better say it, because I don't follow any of the rest of it.
No, I've actually watched the entire Bethesda announcement, their stream on Sunday.
Bethesda was like really awesome.
It was perfect because it was immediately after Game of Thrones. So they knew. It's like, okay, we have to wait until after Game of Thrones.
That's pretty.
And then I caught up on most of the news on Xbox, Sony. So Sony was like, yada, 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 Final Fantasy VII being remade, yada, yada.
I heard
yada.
that too.
And then it's temporarily exclusive for the PS4.
Mm-hmm.
And then which is like, oh, well. I honestly, next generation consoles, aside from the fact that I have a Wii U, I'm definitely leaning more so with the Xbox One, especially with the backwards compatibility now, because we do have I do
a lot of 360 games.
360 games.
Well,
but otherwise there's that, and then there's Nintendo, and I was sold on Star Fox and Super Mario Builder.
Is this for Wii U?
Yeah. Super Mario Builder looks amazing.
Wait, is that the game that was formerly known as Super Mario Maker?
Maker. Yeah, so I said Builder. It's Maker.
Okay, I didn't know. I thought Maker.
No, it's Maker. Super Mario Maker. Because it's SMN.
What's the deal with it?
You can make your own Super Mario game. It's basically.
Now I'm interested.
They want you to do their work.
So this is like their version of Little Big Planet.
Yeah, the engine lets you make it in 4 different styles. Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 2, Super Mario Brothers 3, and Super Mario World.
That's
you can make whatever you want. And you can even use amiibos to get other characters.
Nice.
Like the trailer I saw, you can use like the Link amiibo, and you can play as Link. And I was watching them like, this is amazing. This is what I'm going to spend so much time doing.
Very interesting.
And I like Star.
They've been talking about that game forever. I'm glad to see it's finally happening.
I like Star Fox because I want to play another good Star Fox, and it looks like it'll be a good Star Fox.
I loved Star Fox on the N64. That was the last great Star Fox.
There was no scene in the trailer of characters outside of cockpits, so that was the problem with the last ones.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, there was a lot of other problems.
But they started with the characters outside of cockpits.
That's one problem on a list.
I mean, I guess Star Fox Adventures was different. It was co-opted to be a Star Fox game. It wasn't originally designed for that.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Dinosaur Planet.
Yeah, and they decided, oh wait, we could put Star Fox in this game. Let's make it. And then they kind of try to integrate some of the walking around bits into Star Fox Armada, which meh. So this new Star Fox definitely seems to be a good return to basics. The only thing I was really disappointed about from Nintendo was the new Metroid game on the 3DS.
Yeah.
That didn't seem to have Samus in it, and it's just mostly a
That's kind of weird.
It's a multiplayer shooter. I didn't understand how it was Metroid.
I hate it when they do that. I hate it when they do that. I got Titanfall and I enjoyed it for a while, but because it didn't have enough single player meat on the bone, I lost interest pretty quick.
And the weird thing is, it's theming it around the Metroid Prime line specifically, so like the trilogy of games, and like those games are so equal to having a single player story and and all that stuff. So it's weird that they're going around it. But otherwise, Nintendo was good. I wasn't too enthusiastic about Sony, because I don't care that much about Sony, and I really don't care about...
It's the same for me, and I'm not hearing that I missed much. I'm
Yeah.
hearing that their press conference is kind of meh.
I'm kind of surprised that Square Enix finally relented to do a remake of Final Fantasy VII, but it's just like, I guess they must really need money right now, because that's the only reason to do it. But I think Microsoft is doing a pretty good show.
Their show, the thing that they needed, and that I've been jonesing for, are games. And their show was hardcore game, over and over again, new games, and a lot of sequels, but a ton of new IPs, cool looking, completely new stuff, and a few Japanese developed games that they also really need.
I also liked how Nintendo's their hosting with Reggie Fils-Aimé and Shigeru Miyamoto and the president, whose name I forget.
Yeah.
They were puppets. They were basically Muppets. That was their video presentation. It was like, they're talking as puppets. I like Bethesda's, for the most part, towards the end when they were talking about Fallout. They had a long experience with Doom, and it was okay. But everything was mostly kind of mediocre in my opinion until they got to Fallout. Fallout was a pretty good showing.
And this is the Bethesda?
Yeah, the Fallout 4.
Their whole focus is on Fallout 4.
Yeah, and then next year will probably be back to Elder Scrolls.
Yeah,
because they basically alternate. But Fallout 4 looks pretty good. A lot of the advancements that they're doing in this Fallout are really impressive. I liked the fact the collector's edition will come with a Pip-Boy.
I want that.
And
I haven't even played a Fallout game, and I want
it comes with a Pip-Boy, which is, for people unfamiliar with Fallout, is the device that you as a character use to basically keep track of your stats and everything. And when you bring up your menu to look at your stats, your gear, and all that stuff, it shows your Pip-Boy screen.
Oh,
well,
that's awesome.
And that's what the current games have all done. That's the menu screen,
So that's where that
Pip-Boy,
comes
and that's what the screen is. In the Pip-Boy in Fallout 4, the Collector's Edition, you could put a phone in it, so Android or iOS. I don't know what the size specifications are, so I was like, what's the limit here? I doubt it's going to fit in this. But you can download an app that accesses your Pip-Boy. So from my understanding is, you can use your Pip-Boy on your phone instead of bringing up your menu on the TV.
That's spectacular.
There are a million watch faces for Watchmaker on the Android watch that are their Pip-Boys.
Yeah.
And they're all pretty interesting because it's designed to show a bunch of information. I never knew where they came from.
That's hilarious.
I will say, what was the game I wanted to talk about? Yeah, Star Wars Battlefront.
Star Wars Battlefront.
I haven't seen that trailer yet.
That trailer
man.
in 60 frames. Like, I need this game.
Honestly, I'll say that right now.
Oh my God.
There's a ton of great stuff coming for the Xbox, but if all I was getting was Halo 5 and Star Wars Battlefront, I'd be alright. They're pretty.
That trailer gorgeous. Made me go from like, what is this, to I need this in my life right now in like 15 seconds.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Halo 5, I was worried because it's not Bungie anymore.
Yeah.
That game looks ridiculous. It looks fantastic. Finally, the problem that maybe they were having with Bungie is the game started to just look like upgraded versions of the same thing over and over again. This one actually looks like a new thing, completely new.
Finally, next gen?
Yes, it's gorgeous. And the other thing that they introduced is, I've been wondering, because, Facebook bought
Oculus,
and, part of Facebook is owned by Microsoft. So I wondered if there was going to be anything come from that. And I don't know if they're connected anyway, but they introduced the HoloLens, which is 3D and virtual, or what do they call it, augmented reality glasses that they're going to be putting out alongside Halo 5. But it's meant for not just the game, it's meant for augmented reality computing. You can basically minority report your computer wherever you are in front of you. The thing they showed in the demo that was pretty amazing was somebody playing Minecraft.
On a table
on the stage, through their eyes, you can see all the pieces and everything. But in the case of when they played Halo with it, it goes more virtual reality. So you're more just in the game.
We're almost to the Oasis.
Almost there.
Almost there.
It was pretty gorgeous. It was pretty
Isn't
stunning.
Oculus creating like haptic gloves?
Yeah,
It's supposed to
I'm
be.
having to catch up on this right now. I'm liking this where you can play games before they're released for Xbox One.
Yeah, they've got this new preview program. And in fact, if you're a part of the preview program, you can already do the backwards compatibility.
And I also like the Rare Classic Collection.
Rare started celebrating their 30th
30
anniversary.
games for $30.
Yeah, 30 games for $30.
Guess what's not on there? GoldenEye.
GoldenEye.
And Donkey Kong Country.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no
One of
shocker.
those still there. One of those.
And for Mike, I will say this. The one thing I saw...
Donkey Kong Country.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking, what's the 64 one?
I think it's just Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah, that.
I remember
that
Donkey
was-
Kong 64.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Well, Microsoft, and Sony probably did too, but they did this really old school, big, splashy presentation. And for Forza, they had the grandson of Henry Ford, I guess, who's still integral into the Ford company,
Yeah.
I guess, come on stage with this new car.
Oh, now I did see something about that, like the controllers that have the old Sunoco colors.
Well, no, they brought, what is it, the 60-year-old car that
The
they're...
GT40.
Yeah, they brought it on stage, and it's going to be in the new Forza game. And
It wasn't already.
I don't know.
That's one of the iconic. That's what Ford kicked
Well, I
Ferrari's
think
butt
it's
with.
the newest one, like the new one.
Oh.
They've done. The new design, new everything that they brought it on stage. And the game, actually, if you're into racing games, was mind-blowing.
Forza has looked strong for
I think
since.
it might be starting to surpass.
I
as
think
far as,
I think it has.
yeah, I mean, it's... And they finally, the thing that people
Which
have been
what we're
wanting...
talking about is Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo,
Big
yeah.
Gran Turismo nut, but at the between the year releases, I don't know. Is there even one out for the PS4
I
now?
have not heard of it.
Yeah, it's just
GT6 was less than.
yeah, it's just fell too far behind, and
Yeah.
and in the last the GT6 just wasn't great. It wasn't fantastic.
Yeah. Well, the big thing that people have apparently been clamoring for in Forza that it didn't have was weather effects, but they got them now, and it's gorgeous. And apparently, the demos I've read where people got to demo it, it plays amazing too. It's probably too simulation-y for me, so it's more of a mind game. You know, actually, I have to know how to drive a stick shift and all that crap to do it.
That's a bit too much for me.
Yeah, it goes a little. I'll stick to.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
But
I'm
maybe it
horrible
works-
at it.
Maybe it works the other way around. Maybe if you go through the tutorial, then you learn how to drive a stick
I'm
shift.
actually-
you might have to
I've
drive
actually
better in
found-
real life. Yeah.
To me, the more realistic it is, the better I do. But I'm still horrible.
Yeah.
I still can't do.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm any good. It's just more fun.
I get that. Anyway, there's a lot happening, and it's not even. It goes all the way.
Yeah,
to
it's
the
not done
weekend,
yet.
So there's probably we're bound to see a lot more stuff. The other thing I saw that was kind of big is Microsoft's revamping the entire interface to the Xbox, so it'll be completely different.
They
this fall.
do that like every other year.
Yeah.
And usually people complain, but usually it ends up being for the better.
I don't know. There was one build of the Xbox
360
one that I really liked, and then it's not the current one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the focus on this build that they're doing is supposed to be speed, and the menu system they have now, I'm fine with it, but it isn't the
So
fastest.
is your avatar just going to look like Keanu Reeves, or
It'd be like a Flash.
is it going to be more like Need for Speed? So is Evan Paul going to do like narration for the menu screen?
That would be awesome. I'm in.
Shenmue 3.
Yo, Shenmue 3. Yeah, that
I
was
can't
awesome.
believe that. Now, is that going to be that's on PlayStation, I assume.
Sony's helping fund it. But
The original two Shenmue games did make it to Xbox, but
They did
that's
it.
why I played them.
They did a Kickstarter. The goal was $2 million. They met it overnight. It was crazy.
Wow. Because
Um,
Shenmue was such a great game. I love it.
And we haven't had it in about 15 years almost.
God, I want to play the first two again.
I'm assuming, I'm betting with this, and it probably as much money as this Kickstarter is going to make, that they may end up remastering the first two. I wouldn't see why not.
If we could get them on the Xbox, because I'm not buying a PlayStation just for that game.
I still have the first one on Dreamcast if you want to play it.
That's when I played the first
Let's
one.
go on over.
I've got a
It for a very
PS3
long time.
I haven't played through that yet.
All right, we should probably move on to something.
Oh, do we have
like
other
video
stories?
games. Yeah, we have other
Movies.
things to talk about.
Okay, I'll tell you what. While you do that, I'm going to go get beverages for everybody.
I'll run the box office while you grab the beverages. Here it is, number 10 over the weekend. Love and Mercy, 1.6 million. What is this Love and
This is like
Mercy?
an
Is
R&B
the
song.
biopic I went and saw this afternoon about Brian Wilson.
Oh,
Alright.
how was that?
Why aren't you in the chat room, Zach?
I had to log out of the internet to start food money.
Okay.
I'm getting in right now. So I went and saw this afternoon. This is a great film that has a really, really awkward and bumpy start. Like the first 15 minutes of this is like cringe-inducingly. I have no idea why they're doing this. It'll play better if you watch it a second time. For the first time, I was like, "What the hell is going on here?" It is one of those films. Also, I did not expect it to be as art housey as it was.
Why wouldn't you?
Well, it's getting not just a belt release. It's not just art house.
Oh, it's
That's
doing
why
more
it
than
does.
just an art house tour.
Yeah.
Well, it's made it to the top 10.
Yeah.
It was extremely art housey with the last about 20 minutes. I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
I really thought it was great.
So it's Paul Dano and
Paul Dano does not finally play a character I want to punch in the face. That's nice.
Did you really punch him in the face in The Prisoner?
I didn't see prison shit.
Oh,
What the?
Who was he in prison?
Is that on? That's on Netflix now, isn't it?
It is.
You should fix that.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I would give it an 8 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, here's one nobody's giving an 8 out of 10 to is Tomorrowland. It's number 9. It made another 3.4 million this weekend, though. 83.6 million on a $190 million budget there.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty sad stuff.
No Tron 3 because of this.
Nope.
No,
Well,
more
there's
creativity.
a
More
silver
Cars
lining.
3.
silver lining to every cloud.
Exactly.
More Cars 3. We need to make up the loss for this fun.
That would have been nice if they could look into Tron 3 and it's like, okay, we know what went wrong with Tron 2. Let's not do that.
It would be nice, but that would not have happened.
Probably
To, still in Love and Mercy mode. Wouldn't that be nice?
Mm-hmm. Number 8 is Avengers: Age of Ultron. It made another 3.6 million. That one's made 444 million so far on a $250 million
Wait,
budget.
look at the number. 444,777,275. 275.
Yeah.
Kind of fell apart there at the end, but
You could round that down.
We could just buy.
this is Hollywood numbers, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Number 7 is Mad Max Fury Road. It made another 4 million. That one's made 138 million so far on a $150 million budget.
I'm still proud that movie's doing so well.
That's
Well-
$150 million is a lot for that movie.
It's all on
Yeah.
screen though.
Mhm.
It is all on screen, but that's a
It's a
lot.
lot of money. Yeah.
The
Because it's doing about what I expected
Yeah.
it to do.
Yeah.
I think it will eventually.
It'll break even.
it'll make
It'll
money.
break even. I think it's probably making money globally.
Oh yeah,
Quite
it is
easily.
making.
And I think it's also something that will probably stay to here for a few more weeks.
Was it a U.S. film or was it?
It's
Actually in
definitely
Australia.
Yeah, I was gonna
Australia.
say it was co-funded, I think. Yeah. Let's see. Number 6 is Entourage. It made 4 million. It made 25.7 so far. We don't know the budget, and they're probably embarrassed to tell us.
150 million.
None of it's on screen.
There
None of
are
it's on
people who
screen.
watched 5 seasons of that show.
Yeah.
Where'd they go?
They're not coming around, that's for
If
sure.
you put out a show, let's say that they decide to get together and make a sports night movie. I'd be the first person in line for that.
Yeah, but man, the Sports Night would not get a large crowd of people.
Yeah.
I love Sports Night too, and I would go to that movie, but it
What's
would
the
not
second
get.
one?
You know, I heard it too. I just let it go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm weak.
It's called The West Wing.
That's true. All right, so number 5 is Pitch Perfect 2. It made another 6.3 million. That one's done 171 million so far.
I kind of want to see that.
Looking at the list, just jumping ahead, we don't know the budget for any movie from 6 up.
I know it's ridiculous.
Hey, Hollywood stands for transparency, man.
It's true. Number 4 is Insidious Chapter 3. This is probably finally the last one because it only made 7 million. It's only made $37 million so far.
That's gotta be more than its
I
budget.
bet it might. I bet it's not more than $7 million over the budget. I bet this movie cost at least 30.
I was about to say, did the last one have a budget of like $10 million or something?
Maybe.
It was cheap. I remember looking at it.
Well, maybe it was cheap. All right. Number 3 is San Andreas. It made another $10 million. That one's made $119 million so far. I bet it's not reached its budget yet. I bet they put a lot of money.
It's better on track than Tomorrowland.
That's true. Number 2 is Spy. It made $15.6 million, 56.5 so far. Don't know the budget there either.
Okay, so Insidious Chapter 2 only had a budget of $5 million.
Oh, well, maybe they are doing good enough. Yeah. And number 1 over the weekend was Jurassic World. It made $208 million. Don't know the budget on that one yet.
You don't know you can't release the budget on something that has the highest grossing opening weekend ever. Like, really?
Well,
so Velociraptors
Say,
ain't
for
the
instance,
paperwork.
this movie has a budget of $350 million. Let's just go the widest we can go. It made $200 million in 3 days.
I don't know. Hardly ever do they release a budget on a film the first week it comes out. It doesn't happen that often. Let's see here.
Well, if it includes the marketing money,
they can't know
probably
it all
still
anyway.
spending hand over
Yeah.
fist.
What's going on with the internet?
Did anybody
Yeah, like I said,
see the Marvel, the Kevin Feige tweet of congratulating Jurassic World
Yes, that was...
on becoming the top grossing opening weekend?
Well, Zach, you have a story here. Why don't you just...
Well, you're skipping things because we also have opening this week. Actually, that's out of date.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up, but it's my internet is dragging all the
How about the film ball?
All right, so opening this weekend, we have Inside Out at 100% Rotten Tomatoes. Dope, 92%. And...
Which you can see buy tickets for with Bitcoin.
Infinitely Polar Bear, 82%.
What is that?
I have no idea what this is.
Infinite over there.
It's...
Oh, it's a Mark Ruffalo movie. I
Yes,
think he's
there
like
we go.
a. I think he's a
Maybe
bipolar. I think he's a father who's dealing with being bipolar or something like that.
Yeah, he's talking about that article that you actually sent me, where he's talking about being in Captain America. That's what he's promoting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But no, like Marvel, or at least Kevin Feige, I don't know if it came from the official Marvel tweet, like sent an image like, congratulations, Jurassic World, and people with Twitter accounts like on being the box office king. And it had Chris Pratt's character from Jurassic World riding a Tyrannosaurus Rex holding Thor's hammer. And it's got the Avengers looking up, and Thor's like, what's going on? Because it's holding his hammer.
That's funny.
Until Star Wars comes out, right?
Well, Star Wars is going to be
Yes.
pretty ridiculous, I think. It'll make a couple of dollars.
So that'd be 3 times. I don't remember, did Avengers 2 break the... Okay,
It was like
Avengers
number
1
2.
did, okay.
And then,
That's
and then
still-
Star Wars.
Well, we have the story. We'll get to that. in a
We're not
second.
going to get film ball? Okay.
Well, I'm going to do film ball right now. I'm going to do
I'm
film
just
ball.
going based on your
Well,
scripts.
while you're working on that, we could actually talk about those of us who've seen Jurassic World. On
Yeah, I would rather kind of do it all together. Yeah. So,
You want to do the story and then...
well, no, let's talk about it first because we have your review posted on the website right now.
Yeah, I posted a review on the website.
Which you gave it.
I gave it an 8.5,
What?
I think. Yeah.
No!
Yeah.
There's no way you... No!
Go online at
That's-
CultureSmash.tv.
You have your nostalgia glasses on.
I did, and they were
Look at
awesome.
This is...
I love this
Look
movie.
at Zach's
Okay.
aspect ratio in the video.
I don't know why. This aspect actually stretched out.
I don't know why.
Zach put on 25 pounds for
that's
his
funny.
computer.
That's funny.
I don't know
Zach
why
messed
it's
up his
funny.
aspect
I
ratio.
What a
love
ass
this
mess.
movie. It's flawed. I think
It's more than flawed.
but it was so fun. It was once we got into the pace of things, I had a lot of fun visiting the dinosaurs again, the park, going back to the. I don't want to go too much into spoilers in it, but if you loved the original Jurassic Park, there was.
Then you will hate this
No,
movie
you
because
didn't.
it's subpar.
No, subpar is 2 and 3. Not subpar.
No, subpar is 2, and then that is 3.
Just get tickled.
This film
What
is
is
a
a car
joke.
movie?
The dialogue is horrible.
I guess Jurassic
Huh?
Park.
You cannot say you like the kid characters in this more than the first. There's
No, I didn't say that.
You can't even say you like.
No, wait a minute. There's nothing.
I can say plenty of things that you can't tell me that I can't
true.
say.
You cannot tell me that the kid
You know,
characters
wait,
in
wait,
this are good.
Louder does not make you more right.
It's true. It
This
doesn't have.
film pissed me off.
I think I like it more.
It made me like it more. Like I started like defending it in text message. I said, when you have a heart attack and end up in the hospital because you're being way too mad right now, I'm going to bring a copy of Black Hat and put it in your portable
Good, I'll
laptop
put you
and
to
make you
sleep
watch
anyway.
it. Yeah.
No,
Then
no.
you'll be like, please let me look to Jurassic World.
I don't
again.
like the kids more than I did in the first movie. I like the Hannah
Right.
grandchildren more, but
I really just want to talk about a couple of plot points.
Go ahead.
I just really want to.
yeah, I got a review everyone can read on the website. So
Okay, so you give it an 8.5, and Zach texted me he would give it a 4.5.
4, and that's being generous.
Well,
Listen, you're in the middle.
I'm in the middle. I gave it a 6.5.
I mean, that is very much in the middle.
It is right in the middle because there are some real stupid logic
Yeah.
holes
Stuff.
in this movie. But I saw it in IMAX 3D. The 3D was actually great.
It was.
It was really good. The dinosaurs were awesome characters.
Yes.
The raptors are just as cool as they always were. They were the best in this movie since the first. What's his name?
Right?
Yeah, Chris Pratt was fantastic. He was great in this movie. There's some dumb stuff though. There's just some dumb stuff.
There's some dumb stuff.
There is. Okay,
There's
you know,
some-
whatever. There's a point in this movie where the two
Get on the
kids-
Michael Bain.
the kids.
Michael Bain
Obviously,
super train.
what
here.
always happens in the Jurassic movies is the kids get separated from everybody. So they find a truck that has been
A Jeep
locked
that has
away
been locked away for over 20 years.
over 20
in
years.
The
And one
weather
kid looks at the other one and says,
of the jungle.
remember when we fixed up Dad's I don't know what
Malibu? Yeah, it was Malibu.
Yeah, and like 10 minutes later they were
No,
driving
not
down
even
the
10
street.
minutes.
Well, yeah, I mean
2 minutes later, you see them switch battery. All of a sudden, the gas works. The whole thing's running. Never mind.
There was more cut in that to imply more time. I got that.
I got
Yeah,
it was less
there
than
was-
10 minutes.
No, there was
No.
I'm not saying time didn't pass. I'm just saying it's an impossibility.
You
what they
can't
did.
fix up a Jeep that has been in the jungle
And
for over 20 years.
The
and
way
it's
they
had
end up getting
furniture.
separated.
Like, fine.
What I was so invested
I
in.
don't know.
What I was so a 12-year-old and like a 7-year-old.
It wasn't 12.
Well,
he
He
was
was like 13.
I mean,
No,
you said
no,
to
he
switch
was-
the
he
batteries,
was high
but they had a
school.
fresh battery.
He was talking about going away
in a place
like
that nobody had been in
college.
20 years. There's no such thing as a press battery.
So, okay, well, that rules it out right then, unless they push started it.
Yeah, and they didn't. But okay, so what I loved and was really into was the rendition of the park. How theme parky it really
was.
I felt like a theme park, and then they get on this ball that you see in the trailers, the ball that they ride in, and
It's just cool. That's cool.
it's really cool. And then they recall everybody because
They
if
say,
something
please
happens.
come back.
All of a
to
sudden, the kids can drive the ball on their own. And
No,
I'm like,
it wasn't all
wait.
of a sudden. They could do that at the beginning.
Yeah, but that's fine. But there's
Yeah,
no
but
harm.
it's a
There's
ride,
no,
though.
like,
No, I agree. That was a flaw in the design. Let's not kid ourselves. The inception of Jurassic Park and Jurassic World is a flawed design.
Yeah, yeah.
So I understand that safety issue.
But the things that happen in that ball are gorgeous. I'm sitting there watching thinking, God, please, Universal, please do an expansion and give me this. Let me ride in this wrecking ball. I want to do this so bad. What's her name? Bryce Dallas Howard. It's the first time I ever really liked her
hated her
thing.
haircut.
Oh, I thought she actually was finally cute in something.
I hated her.
I've
Every
never-
time she came on screen, I'm like,
No, I liked her. She was good.
Yeah, she
I mean,
was.
her character acting's fine. I just like was so distracted.
No, it's the first time she's ever been cute in a movie.
Didn't
just
have
saying.
that problem.
No, yeah, agreed.
Now,
Now, a lot of people are having a problem with
The
the
heels.
heels.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
she runs and fights and does everything and never
she
ditches her
outruns
heels.
the T-Rex, which in the first one they say is over 35 miles an hour, and she's outrunning it. Even in the original, they couldn't outrun it.
Yeah, I would.
Don't try to spin it on me. Don't try to say, yeah, well, it's a dinosaur movie, so what? Don't give me that. That's bad.
All right.
That's just bad.
No, you know what? That's fine. I don't care as much.
Yeah.
That just,
Doesn't rank as high.
that
as
was
me.
so
I
distracting.
agree with
to
you.
me.
Well,
It hurt.
the first one even established that you have to show an animal having actually area to get up to speed.
And
that
he did-
T-Rex did not have area
Yeah,
to
he
get
was
up to
running
speed.
into buildings. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, there was, yeah.
in an area that it was not familiar with. So I don't have a problem with that. I will give everyone the fact that she was doing the running in heels, but take out that.
You want to know what's really funny, and I was really shocked about this, is I was looking at articles today, and I forget the director's name.
Colin Trevorrow.
Yeah. Well, in an interview over on HitFlix, normally the director kind of like just drives the ship, and when things happen, he just sort of takes the blame for it. He doesn't put it off on the actors at all. That just doesn't happen that often in a movie that the creative team is proud of. Well, he had to respond to all the stuff with the heels, and he blamed her. He said, she insisted on it, and I wanted her to be comfortable, so I let her do it. Which basically, and I was
throwing it under the bus.
Crap. Yeah, pretty much what he said, and I couldn't believe it.
I'm sure they'll be working together.
Exactly, and I that's the first thing I thought. Well, you were stupid, And her father is not going to give you any breaks either. Now, that's for sure.
But I still don't even necessarily think that's. I get the problem with him. That was a stupid thing for him to say, but I don't actually think it's a big deal. Like I get the logical problem with the heels, but
nobody had a problem.
It did lead
$208 million. It's not that big a deal.
It did lead to one late night clip where Chris Pratt had to run around in high heels, and that was hilarious.
That's pretty funny. But you know what else? Everybody's complaining about that, but nobody said anything about Gwyneth Paltrow running from explosions in Iron Man in those heels, and it's because she looked really good. Because I remember noticing, I'm all into Iron Man, I'm like, she looks good in those shoes. Those are doing something really good for her legs.
Let me just say that 90% of my problems rely with any scenes for the kids, and that's not just because of the kids.
I do agree with that.
the logic gaps with the kids.
I totally agree with you, and that's why I'm giving it a 6.5, because the difference between
a third of the film
us and you,
just stupid.
a difference between us and you, we've had this discussion over and over again, is
we have taste.
That's kind of a given.
Okay.
But also on top of that, we actually can go and enjoy a roller coaster ride summer movie just for the fun of it.
Yeah, Max was fun. I enjoyed that.
That's not the same kind of movie.
No,
that is
not
a fun movie.
In a different way, that movie is fun.
That
movie is dark and
Yeah,
which is great. It's not a summer roller coaster ride movie.
Hold on, let me check my brain at the door because I have an IQ of 60.
Hey, don't make me pull out that stupid samurai movie.
Well, then you don't really have to check it at the door because you don't really have one, do you?
Exactly. Yeah, Mr. Samurai Cop.
Well, Samurai Cop is supposed to be dumb. That from frame one of that movie,
I don't think Jurassic World ever lofted itself to be cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah, I agree. It was supposed to be campy.
It was exactly what it intended to be.
Dinosaurs don't have feathers. Who can take it serious?
No, the best part about that is they explained it. Mm-hmm. They explained all the discrepancies with the science of dinosaurs that we have discovered in the past 20 years. With that one line that B.D. Wong says, like, if we use true, complete dinosaur DNA, they wouldn't even look like what they do.
You know who my favorite character?
I like that line.
My favorite character in the movie really was, though?
Kingpin?
Nope.
Well, that kind of makes sense because that
the guy
doesn't make any sense to me,
I have named myself Margarita Two-Fister.
You mean Jimmy Buffett?
Yeah.
I noticed that too.
There's a scene in there, and I love it because it's so.
Oh God, you're talking about the 2 margaritas and a plate of fajita guy?
Yeah. When
that's way too in-jokey.
When all the flying dinosaurs are let loose and start attacking the park, one guy, his main priority is saving his margaritas.
He grabs those margaritas and runs for the hills.
It is Jimmy Buffett.
It is.
He has a cameo because there is a Margaritaville at the Jurassic World theme park.
Yeah.
Which it goes to more of the whole, it's really a theme park. It's
really
Disneyland with dinosaurs.
But it's so well rendered. I just love that part of it.
I love the hotel is Hilton, the Samsung Center, and
that annoyed me because every single character in the movie, every single person had a Galaxy S5, and I was like,
well, now to be honest,
it's sponsored by Samsung.
Here's what's funny. I actually appreciate it. Hey, if this is a way,
I played my job for this, but like I noticed that stuff.
I did not notice it. Actually,
I
didn't notice it.
But if it's one of the new ways to pay for films is to do these product placements, I'm fine with it if you can find a way to make it feel like the real world. If it's not Waggle Vision, where it's like, ooh, look at her,
Sony,
like
with any Sony film, it's always a Sony bio.
Right, you can't if it's just in there like there's a scene where Chris Pratt she goes to his house and he's drinking a Coke.
Yeah.
Well, if you come to my house, I'm probably drinking a Coke too. It's not like, hey, look at this. He just is taken
There
her
was
when she
point-
walks
yeah.
up. Yeah.
Would you like a tasty Coca-Cola?
Exactly. So if you make it, because I really started to feel that way with the show Eureka. Remember the last couple seasons of Eureka
Yeah.
where they financed it, but they were able to build that product placement into the actual story, and it worked for me.
It did, and I think it worked so well here because it was the whole thing where they were joking about it. It's like Verizon brings you the Indominus Rex.
It turns into a joke, yeah. Like even where they're naming an area or something and they're trying to figure it out. I don't know. It's fun. It's not good. The only problem I have is I loved it.
That's fine. You saying it's fun, not good. But when people give it like an 8.5,
well,
that's too high. Like, I'm
No,
sorry.
I don't think so.
No,
it depends on what.
7 max.
No, it depends
what's
on
important to
depends
you.
on your scale, and fun for me ranks higher than apparently it
Yeah,
does for you.
sometimes I just like
So
to have
fun
fun.
is
I
higher
like-
than good.
And,
Well, a lot of aspects,
wait.
yes.
Nico has a point. Different people rate things differently. I mean, and what he said is literally true. I mean, on his scales, fun is more important
It's a
than.
priority.
I mean, you can like a Transformers
The other
film,
thing.
just don't say it's good. You can like Jurassic World, just don't say it's good.
I don't know. And now, if
Well,
you're
but
going,
what is your interpretation of good?
Yeah.
Good can be it's fun.
Not having stupid logic like fixing up a Jeep in 2 minutes by fixing
But you know what?
the battery.
You know where that
That's
works, though?
stupid. I'm
When
sorry.
I think about it in second and third viewings
It's
on
stupid.
DVD, now I'm kind of changing my mind because Zach's making me mad about it because I want to like go against him just because I hate him. Is I could put it in and let it play and be doing stuff and enjoy all the cool scenes while I'm folding laundry. I don't give a crap about the logic flaws because I'm not paying attention.
the
It's your
excitement,
definition of a summer pass.
the
If you're
excitement,
giving it a pass.
the excitement that I had
Just let it pass.
at the end of this movie, that final climactic fight, the dinosaurs,
Oh, so good.
it was
Oh, that's when the movie finally got good.
everything that I could have wanted out of a Jurassic
My
Park
favorite
sequel.
sequence of the whole movie is
That's
still
where we
those
got the
balls.
4.
Yes,
Those
were good.
Yeah, it was such a good sequence. You know, in IMAX 3D, dude, I was like not thrilled about going to see it in IMAX 3D, but it was Nathan's request, so
$20.
we did it, and at the end of it, I don't regret it because it was gorgeous.
I probably would have been more likely to go see it in IMAX if it wasn't opening weekend.
Now, here's what's hilarious: is in this has nothing to do with the movie, so you can pay
Oh, it's
attention
okay.
now. The trailers in front of it in the IMAX theater is they had a preview for Ant-Man, and some sequences of Ant-Man are shot in IMAX,
Yeah.
which I think is hilarious because they're that's when he's super tiny.
Yes.
It makes him life size again.
That's pretty great.
I looked at Nathan. I'm like, dude, he's life size because the screen's so big.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
But it looked gorgeous. Yeah, I'm getting more and more excited for this stupid movie. I don't know. It might be another Guardians. It'll be a real surprise. I hope so.
Guardians was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, it's
Guardians was, and I really do hope it turns that way. I mean, honestly, Jurassic World kind of turned that way for me. Because when I first saw the original trailers, I was not sold at all.
Yeah.
And luckily, when I saw it, came back around eventually. Got to what was
Here's what shocks me. Well, let's talk about it because it's actually in the story you have to read. Go ahead.
One last thing about Jurassic World. Was it just the or did the CG not look
I didn't have a
as
problem.
good?
I didn't have too much of a problem.
For
with
me, it was
No, I didn't have a problem with the CG.
it. No, and especially in 3D, just stunning.
well, which puts that extra filter over it to look
Well, yeah,
a certain way.
but it was probably developed for the 3D.
See, to me, it looked.
The only real weakness I really had with the movie, logic holes, heels and jungles, all that crap aside, I never had that sense of wonder, that majesty. Like when Grant and all the crew in the first one roll up and they see what within the brontosauruses just
But you
roll,
know what?
and you don't have that whole just
I don't
stress
think
there.
I don't think you can ever get that sense.
And, well, yeah, and that's part of the problem is I don't think that can happen again unless there is some sort of new innovation in terms of filmmaking. But that's the only real thing.
Well,
that
even
I
outside
wish
of
I
being in
had.
terms of filmmaking, in terms of this story,
We've seen all the
been
dinosaurs.
wonders.
Yeah, so it's just a problem that this franchise has to endure.
Yeah.
Because that and I wish it was a little more John Williams.
Yeah.
A little. They had it. They had the
okay.
theme, but I just wanted a little
At
more.
the very beginning of the movie, when you see the old gates from the first movie
Yeah.
and that John Williams score plays, which is beautiful, that's the only moment I kind of had it. Oh yeah, that was my nostalgia week.
Well, and then when they go back to the old park,
yeah,
too, that was great. And I kind of wanted it to hit a little bit stronger there and a little bit stronger at the T-Rex scene.
Yeah.
And but otherwise, yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was so fun. I had such a fun
I'm very, very comfortable in my 6.5 rating. I'm very comfortable.
With that rating, I can go, well, you say it's, got flaws, but you still enjoyed it. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
With 8.5, I go, I'm sorry.
I wanted to edit it higher every time.
Sorry.
Yeah, I actually I'm starting to want to push mine to 7 at
Anybody
least.
that gives it that high of a rating has nostalgia loss.
I'm fine with that. I mean, the flaws are the reasons I didn't push it up into 9.
You know what you should do, Zach, is read that story.
All right, well,
Fat boy.
if anybody was paying attention
This
during
great
our
aspect
top
ratio
10,
is still tickling me.
So Universal is reporting that Jurassic World now holds the title of biggest domestic opening weekend of all time, grossing $208.8 million at the box office, surpassing 2012's Marvel's The Avengers.
That's a blasphemy.
$207.4 million. Not content with North American triumphs, World also now holds the title for the #1 international opening weekend in history, as well with an estimated $315.6 million besting Warner Brothers' 2011 Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Would you also say prehistory?
Yeah. It says biggest opening weekend of all time.
Yeah.
Doesn't all time include the future? How do they know?
As of current?
Mike is really full of himself tonight. Have you noticed this?
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. Is that it? You got more to read.
Yeah, so this basically, the film also claims the title of Universal's highest grossing international weekend, beating the previous record holder, Fury 7. This all led to other firsts. Universal has crossed the $1 billion mark at the domestic box office faster than any studio to date.
That's crazy.
It smashed the record for reaching $3 billion worldwide. With those domestic and overseas numbers being adjusted upwards, which is seemingly happening on the hour, the cumulative worldwide number went to $524.4 million. Really? You don't want to give the budget that you've already grossed $500 million? Anyway, but I digress. It is the first time a film has ever grossed more than $500 million in one weekend. Not only is Jurassic World the biggest opening domestic weekend that Universal has ever had, it's the biggest that co-financer Legendary has ever had.
Oh, that's not
includes the
surprising.
Dark Knight films. 3D
Yeah,
also...
suck that, Zach.
What?
More money than Dark Knight.
Yeah, Dark Knight came almost a decade ago.
Look at his face.
And it wasn't in 3D. And it was barely in IMAX. Anyway, 3D also played a major role, according to Real D. It reported that 65% of all international sales were for 3D showings. I wonder why Hollywood's so interested in international numbers now. Equaling $205 million of the $315.3 million. Universal states that 3D grosses were more like 50%. Included in the Real D report was the astonishing assertion that 95% of moviegoers in China saw Jurassic World in 3D, with the next top-performing markets listed as Germany at 89%, Brazil at 78%, and Russia at 74%. Universal reports that IMAX scored a record-breaking international weekend of $23.5 million, or $53,000 per screen. Blah, 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 lots of numbers.
Read the last paragraph. That's the one I want you to read.
Yeah, I was about to say, it beat Transformers 4. Things look rosy for the film in the future with the... I don't think I'm going to read this last one. I really don't think
Read it.
So things look rosy for the film in the future, as well with an A cinema score of the audience attendance splitting a 52% male and 48% female, 39% were under the age of 25, and 61% were 25 and over. Well, you know what? Sometimes people don't know what's best for them, and
well, they sure don't need a lesson from you. That's scary. So people
that just
overall
blows my mind that
are
people just
enjoying
giving
this movie.
a pass.
Now, here's the thing that I want to say about this, and this goes back to Film Ball. Did anybody completely honestly see this movie making that much money?
No.
Who has Jurassic World in our film ball?
We'll see in just a minute.
Yes.
Never mind.
I mean, really, I had it in my head that this movie was going to do well. I was thinking 80, 90 million is what I figured. Nice, solid opening weekend. You know, Thor numbers or maybe Captain America numbers.
Yeah, but
not,
this is the same type of cinema score. Just saying. Also gave Transformers: Age of Extinction an A-.
Oof. Okay, that isn't that the one I walked out on?
Yes.
Yeah. Which is also on Netflix.
This is why I don't trust cinema score.
Yeah, but Cinema Score really does in a lot of ways represent the ticket buying public though.
Democratic.
That means
Yeah.
they need to be educated on what a good
Maybe they need to be. They do, but yeah.
You know, I saw that.
I don't know. You're starting to go down a dark road there.
I saw the Age of Extinction
was an A-.
I saw the Age of Extinction is on Netflix, and how like Netflix is like when you center on a movie or a show or something, it will then scroll at the top like 3 images or some images from it. Only one of them had a Transformer.
Really?
It was Optimus Prime and then Mark Wahlberg and then Mark Wahlberg. And I'm like,
I wonder what you're doing there.
Problematic.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, they gave Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2 an A as well.
Wow.
So that's like saying Jurassic World is as good as the Twilight Saga.
I'm surprised he brought those movies up.
He likes them.
He does like those, yeah.
Let me just look at another bad movie. Let's look up 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, you love that one too.
So, yeah.
So yeah, all right. So let's look at the film ball numbers, shall we?
Okay.
Since we've
Oh,
talked.
they gave that a C+.
Wait, I have something to say about that, though. All the movies that you're talking about are really well-grossed movies. Whether or not they're good movies, bad movies, people like them.
Oh, yeah.
Well, then that's my
So
point.
let's take a look for a movie. Let's look at Mordecai. Mordecai was something that was panned pretty heavily by the critics,
Yeah.
and nobody
People
seemed to
hated
go watch.
Yeah, because even
C+, C.
Jurassic World right now is at 70% on Rotten Tomatoes, so the critics are liking it generally too. I mean, still in the positive. So,
I mean, they gave Jurassic Park 3 a B-.
all right then. See. All right.
What
So
can I say? People like Sam Neill.
So Cinema Score
I like
was a
Sam
college
Neill. I do
course
too.
would be an easy A.
So anyway,
I like that movie Easy A. It was good.
that was a good movie.
Yeah.
You know what else is good?
What?
The film ball.
Here they are. All right. So here I'm just gonna go down the list. Currently, what?
Need for Speed B+.
All right.
Oh, see, I was telling them earlier.
You know what?
I watched Need for Speed on
I'm
Stars.
sorry to
What a travesty.
derail, but I had to say
What a
that.
travesty.
You're why we can't have good things.
It's true. It's really true. It was a moment of weakness, and it was on Stars, and I watched it.
I understand that.
It was horrible.
I ended up watching the first
Continue
six
on.
courses.
Even the driving
Film
scenes
ball.
are trouble. Here we go. All right, so currently I am at 213 million. That's respectable, considering I only have one movie. Zach is currently at 405 million, thanks to his big purchase.
I don't feel safe now.
You should. As Nico is currently at $0.
Woo!
All right. So Mike, where's Mike? Mike is at 142 million.
So at least you're beating Mike.
42. I'm
You got
happy with
42
that.
in there. And Dwayne. Dwayne is currently at 357 million.
Dinosaur money, bitches!
He is literally $8 million from tying you.
See, I'm
Zach, how do you feel about that?
Well, hold on. Are we accounting for Monday and Tuesdays?
No, these are just weekend numbers. Mhm.
Well,
So you're probably already.
You're probably
Yeah,
already
yeah.
lost, yeah.
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 Yeah, I
That's
wasn't
your
worried
first
about.
loser.
I wasn't worried about Zach. 'Cause
I wasn't
he,
either,
He
'cause
blew,
he
it,
screws
he blew
me
it all
up.
on Avengers, and then.
It worked last time.
Yeah.
But no, because when Avengers came out, John, who was playing with us at the time, had enough other movies.
He
on the
had
back.
another hero movie. He had Spider-Man or something.
No, he didn't.
He
He didn't have another one. He had that horror movie. I forget what it was called.
Yeah.
And he had
Conjuring.
wasn't The Conjuring?
No, was it The Possession? It was
Possession, something like that. And then he also had that. What was it called? Premium Rush or something? The
Something like that.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt bike messenger movie.
Either way, those two things together
They
got him
helped
another
him.
$50 million. And it was just enough to beat.
Dwayne, on the other hand, walked away with Jurassic World, which none of us thought would be the large moneymaker that is. So we didn't go
didn't
for
believe
it as
it.
high from now.
I bought it out of lark because it's the
So-
Jurassic World.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he was able
Somebody.
I
to
was-
pick up other movies.
Sure, it's going to make money, but I just didn't see it doing this.
So
Now-
I'm afraid about Dwayne.
And this is what I thought after I came out of the movie. Honestly, I had fun. I gave it a 6.5, but I thought enough people are going to be disappointed in the movie that it's going to fizzle pretty quick. It'll do huge money and then fizzle. Well, if the average audience score is an A, the word of mouth is going to keep this movie up there for a while.
Yeah.
It's going to bring in more.
Yeah.
Because after the movie is in theaters, critical reviews don't matter anymore. It's word of mouth that keeps a movie successful. And the word of mouth is positive, so we may all be screwed. So in contributor bracket 2, Catherine is at $179 million. Hector, $0. That's familiar.
Fortunately, that won't last.
Yep. Stephania is at $138 million. Alan is at 400. This is my favorite. Alan is at $404 million. Nathan is at 402. Nathan is $2 million behind Alan.
Oh
right
wow!
now. Yeah.
That's almost negligible.
Yeah.
That is within
Well,
a budget
it is
figure.
negligible because again, this is only through Sunday.
As the auditors would say, that's not material.
Exactly. And then Ada is at $140 million in that group. So that's their game so far. And
$2 million ahead of you, Ada.
desperately looking to be competitive. All right, so that's the game
Just
so
like
far. This weekend, is there anything big this weekend?
Zach went over it.
Yeah.
Inside Out.
Inside Out is the big one.
Which is my first movie.
Yeah, finally Nico interested. I'm impressed.
They'll probably get my money.
You know what? No, I was
It's not
I
gonna
was
be mine.
more
I'm not excited
I was
about
more confident about this before Jurassic World not only made, not just made the money that it made, but also is having such positive word of mouth. So I expect a lot of people to go see that this weekend.
Yeah.
I expect that to stay in the #1 spot.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Inside Out will be a solid number 2, but yeah. Mike, you got a story.
I do
This
have a
is something
story.
fun to talk about.
Forrest Whitaker is in negotiations to join the cast of Lucasfilm's Star Wars anthology pick, Rogue One. Now it's going to be, it's kind of one of the side story movies that's taking place.
Mhm.
It's actually another prequel taking place. I say that only because we've not had good luck with prequels, but it's taking place in between episodes 3 and 4, actually more towards episode 4, and it's supposed to involve the stealing of the Death Star plans.
I thought it was the opposite, more toward The New Hope.
Oh,
Episode
I'm
4
sorry.
is
Did I get it backwards?
Is it
Yes,
4?
it is. It is more closer towards 4
Yeah.
than 3. So
That's what I thought he said. Maybe I just corrected him in my
that could be.
head.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have no
Continue.
faith in anything. So so we'll finally get to figure out maybe how all those Bothans died. Also starring in the film were already cast as Felicity Jones, Riz Ahmed, Diego Luna, and Ben Mendelsohn, with Gareth Edwards directing. Of course, Disney and Lucasfilm have no comment on the Forrest Whitaker possibly being in it, but it supposedly is in negotiations. And it's set to come out to December 16th, 2016. So
That's like way soon. The rest of this is just about what you could see for
That is it.
right now.
yeah,
I like him for this movie because anytime you see solid character actors being cast in a movie, I mean somebody who's really paying attention to story and not just the flair. And he's really good. In
Forrest Whitaker is amazing.
And I like this story. This could be a tragic story depending on
It could be very dark.
yeah, which I think would be amazing. This could be Empire. It could be Empire Dark, and that would be cool. My only concern is, and I get into this all the time, but is they start jumping around in time too much. Can the mainstream keep up, or will they want to?
Yeah, that could easily be a problem. I wanted to do well because I like the idea of visiting there, and I think a lot of people will be receptive of going to a more familiar time. But it's going to be weird to have these different points in time interlaced within the new trilogy. That's
You're going to start
take
wondering,
place.
well, what time period is this spinoff I'm watching? Where is it set?
Yeah, and you're going to start wondering, is this going to cause a lot of confusion with people? So
Well,
I don't know what they're
I
going to do
think
with the movie.
too. Another danger is just kind of revisionism is not really the word, but them going back and kind of showing things in different light.
Yeah, which
Now,
is what they're
that
doing in
could
the
be-
comics with Han Solo.
That could be really, really cool because it could make just give you a whole new appreciation for things you never really thought about. But it's also a chance to really, really screw things up. So in a way, they've really got balls going back and telling a story like this. Because they are taking a chance with the whole thing they're getting into, and then just just filing it up.
If you were going to be safe, you would just pretty much leave the original trilogy pretty much.
And there's a
Sacred
big
and
piece of me that wishes
stay
they'd
away
just
from
do
it.
that.
Or just do more, like, they're not only going back in time, they're telling a story that really kind of plugs in with everything else that's been going on.
It's already part
It's not
of
like, going out and telling some Boba Fett story that doesn't really have any impact on
So
anything that's
the
going
thing
on.
that's going to annoy me, because in the world that we know, they died, right?
We know
we know
Bothans.
many Bothans died.
We don't know all
Yeah.
Bothans died.
I mean, I don't know. Actually, they just got a transmission, so it could be everyone died.
Well, right. Well, I kind of just thought they died or whatever. So if they try to strive for a happy ending in this movie, they can really change the feel of that whole transmission. And that bothers me because they're gonna want to. I mean,
as long as many Bothans die, I think it's okay.
Okay.
That's all you have to really keep it
So
it
many
as
of
many
them-
Bothans
How
die.
many is many?
Yeah, it's more than
It's just
2,
that,
but
like,
less than 20.
I think it's more than, because a few is 3. I think many you got to be.
I think you have to be over 10. Over 10 is many.
Several more or less than more?
I think several is in between few
No, wait,
and many.
several is 4.
Several
So
is
it's-
like 4,
so it
and then
gives-
you get to many.
it goes
Once you're in double digits, you're in many.
Well, many
So it's
is
few,
like when you
several,
run out
many.
of digits, isn't it?
Exactly. When you're in double digits,
If you get above 21, it's many.
Oh.
it depends on how.
So for many
depends
Bothans,
on
it had
how
to be
much
like
effort you
25,
want to
30
go
of
through
them.
taking off your shoes.
And not that much. I would get the.
Well, the shoes are easy as socks.
Yeah. So at that point, I'm going to say mini is just over 10.
Okay. All right. So at least 10 better die in this movie. I'm gonna be super pissed.
Yeah.
Or maybe all of them. Do we see Bothans?
Hey, if all of them die, I'll be even more happy.
We also don't know how many Bothans there. We don't know how many Bothans there are, honestly.
How many Bothans does it take?
There's
to turn
only
off a
3.
light bulb?
How many Bothans does it take to steal the plans of the Death Star?
Darth Vader kicked their. Oh wait, can we say ass? I'm all.
Yeah, we
can say ass.
Darth
Ass
Vader
falls
kicked
into
their
the
ass so hard. There were only 10 to start out with, and he killed 12.
Yeah, with his boot.
That was really bad.
All right, Nico, you got to
I
start.
apologize.
We'll
I'm surprised you didn't take this one.
let's pretend it didn't.
After years of rumors and speculation,
House.
Dimension Films is officially casting Halloween Returns, which will bring Michael Myers back to the big screen once again. Oh, I thought they were going to do a sequel to 3.
I did too.
A new generation of victims is set to emerge with this new Halloween remake, writes Movie Hole, who broke the news this morning. Titled Halloween Returns, the new project will be a standalone film set to reintroduce audiences to Michael Myers. Halloween Returns.
Like, no one knows who Michael Myers is, even people in this generation.
Well,
Are
but
they
it's-
reintroducing them to Michael Myers, the serial killer, or Michael Myers, the comedian? Because I think he also needs a reintroduction.
I think
does
maybe
need to
it could be
reintroduction.
Michael Myers, the comedian.
I think you got to
as
combine the two,
serial
do
killer.
like a So I Married an Ex Murderer 2.
Exactly.
I would actually.
Wait, is that a movie? I would see that.
I would
watch that.
I would
watch that in a
watch
heartbeat.
that. I would watch that also.
Halloween Returns pits a new group of Haddonfield youngsters against Myers. The now 18-year-old child of one of his victims plays a central role, as well as the child of a cop who's long been obsessed with the Myers case, even putting it before his own daughter. Myers, now on death row, so apparently he got caught at some point.
That part cracks me up. He's on death
And the
row.
two kids
That's
are
already bad.
the two kids with their own personal vendettas against the killer sneak in to watch the execution. But when things go awry and Myers escapes, because of course, the pair, along with their friends, find themselves in the firing line. As previously reported, Halloween Returns will not be in 3D, but will follow the footsteps of Rob Zombie's remakes. Halloween, called a recalibration back in February. The next Halloween is penned by Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan, the duo behind various Saw sequels, as well as Pacific Rim, Beast,
Pacific
The
Rim
Collector, and The Collection. And I like Pacific Rim,
Job.
but horror movie it is not.
No.
And also, it does not have Guillermo del
the
Toro, which is the most obvious driving factor of
True.
Pacific Rim.
It's true. The Collector I saw, it's okay. The others are generally...
Is The Collection a sequel to
It
The
is.
Collector? Okay.
You know
I
what's
would
coming
hope so.
to mind is in Jason Goes to Hell when they at the beginning
Mhm.
when they lure him into the FBI firing
Yeah!
squad.
That's gonna happen.
Once you bring government entities into these movies,
It turns into
they
a
lose
disaster.
something.
I visualize Michael Myers. What was the That movie, the Susan Sarandon movie, with where she was dealing with
Stepmom.
No, where she was
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
No, the
Good
series.
Walking.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I imagine that movie except with Michael Myers behind bars and with the mask on.
Does this mean that we're gonna eventually get Michael Myers in space?
Hey, that worked for
Once
Jason.
again,
It did
that's
work
what
for
they're
Jason.
Because
all-
let me tell you something. Jason X is
It's
awesome.
pretty great.
It did not
because
work.
Jason was supernatural to start.
It
Myers
did
has
not.
always just been a guy in a mask.
No.
And
No.
then-
No.
That's not anymore.
And then
Not
it
for a long
turned
time.
into
Michael Myers stopped being natural at the end of the first movie when
And-
he took several gunshots to the chest,
And got up and walked away.
knocked out of a second-story building, and walked away.
And Jason
And
Voorhees
continued
actually
to
was
murder.
a real person.
Continue to
also.
murder, because Halloween 2, same night, and Michael Myers is not slowed down, hurt, bleeding profusely, or anything from all the injuries he
And he
took
gets
from one.
blown the hell up in the end of 2, and he's still fine.
And then, yeah,
They get
and
that cameo
yeah.
in 3, and nothing really happens.
he got blew the hell up in 2, but what's his name? Donald Pleasance came up damaged way more. He was all burned and everything. Like, screw this.
I like to consider you got Halloween 1 and then you got H2O. That's like the
No,
perfect sequel.
I think 2
Because
is
here's the
fine.
thing.
No,
no,
two is
no,
good.
no. Look at it like this. He gets shot, disappears. Lori goes into the hospital and recovers and everything. 20 years later, he comes back, and then you have the ultimate kill-off where she cuts off, spoilers, she cuts off his head. It's kind of like the aliens.
One, hold
I
on.
don't take 2 out of the.
You can't take
Right,
2
because-
because H2O references 2. Like
Yeah,
newspaper
there's
articles and
some
everything
lines
talks about the
there.
hospital scene. So
I
And
also
2
reference like 4 and 5 in that film
Yeah.
too.
2 actually.
Yeah, they reference.
Yeah, but-
we went to after my cousin.
and that's fine. I don't have that problem.
I really
No,
don't
I don't-
didn't
yeah.
talk about anything except for 1 or 2.
Yeah, but then in 4
No,
and 5,
'cause I
they talk
kinda-
about
I
how
kinda
Laurie
liked,
Strode got killed in a car.
Yeah, I kind of like 4 and 5. Isn't that's the one with what's her name in it?
Danielle Harris.
Danielle Harris. I like those actually.
I like where she
Except I was all mad that they never finished telling the story of the mystery guy in the fedora and boots.
Yeah, they really dropped the ball on that.
Well, because
Yeah.
the company that owned the rights lost it because those movies were a box office failure.
that makes me mad because they were building towards something.
Yeah, I wanted
and they
to.
were-
It's kind of like Phantasm. They're building towards something, and you never get the story.
No, but we may this time.
I'm hoping.
But we still don't have a release date. We've had a trailer for a year and we still don't have
You
a
talking about the
release date.
Phantasm movie?
Yeah. Makes me
Yeah.
so mad.
Here's a question for you, and I know this is kind of a hard question. Would you rather have another sequel of this or like a new killer that
What do you-
would become?
I have said for a long time I wish somebody could come up with a new horror franchise
Well,
that's
you
as
know.
iconic as Texas Chainsaw and Halloween and Friday
Hatchet
the
was
13th.
almost on the right track.
But you know what though? Hatchet was still campy. It was still self-referential. They still were winking at you. Look how 80s we are.
Is that
you
a
know?
problem?
It is.
Oh.
It is.
Well, yeah, because
I love the movie, but to be
the first
this
one, when they get to the third or fourth one, you know, like
to be this like iconic, you know,
you need to be
franchise,
serious.
and you need to be of the era that you're in. You don't need to be referencing the 80s, which
Right.
is what
I mean,
Hatchet did, and did it very well.
Even to an extent, Scream did it. I mean,
Scream-
Ghostface was everywhere. It was,
was.
an iconic franchise, and even if it doesn't have the same, it doesn't resonate with us necessarily the same way. It did with that generation.
It resonated, but if you notice, it's not influencing future films like
No,
it.
it's not.
You know, the only films that influenced were the ones made by what's his name, Kevin, whatever his name, that writer.
Smith?
No, Kevin something. The
Kevin
guy-
Williamson?
Yeah, Kevin Williamson.
Oh, yeah.
I know what you did last summer, and those other movies he did. He was on.
And also spawned an entirely new genre, almost, of the horror movie parody.
Yeah, it finally died because they were some terrible movies.
Oh, they were bad. But no, Scream was
Yeah.
very influential for
I mean,
its
I
time.
think modern. When you start talking about modern film, the last great icon was Freddy Krueger. I mean, he was.
That's still 80s.
No, Jigsaw.
Hellraiser may have been the last great.
No,
Hellraiser was 80s
Jigsaw.
Jigsaw. I will go Jigsaw.
No.
The iconic doll. Then.
I just can't go
could
there,
see
and the
the
problem-
Maybe the doll, but the doll wasn't the killer.
No,
No.
the doll wasn't the killer.
Yeah.
That's the most iconic.
But that's the thing is, you don't fear the doll.
No.
But
I don't
you
fear anything in those movies. I'm there to see how people get out of situations.
And the other problem is, at least with these other franchises we're talking about, every other one or every third one is actually good. None of those Saw movies are good.
I like
None
the
of
first
them
one.
are
I
good.
actually enjoy the series
I like the
quite a
first
bit.
one.
I hated every single one. I kind of like the first one because I love Danny Glover in the
Yeah,
movie when
yeah.
he goes
That
batshit
was
crazy.
good casting.
He was
good.
awesome. And I guess I don't hate that one. But the other thing, the problem I had with those movies is I could never get scared or invested because they look like a music video.
Yeah.
Like, for
I
no
don't think
reason,
there's
the
anything-
hallway is
I don't
shot in
know.
purple. And, you turn a corner and everything's green. And then in the
Well,
next
they
one,
had the poop speared on.
it was like Rob Zombie time,
I don't know if you're supposed to be scared by those movies.
I don't know. Are you
I
supposed
think
to
it's
be
just supposed
freaked
to be
out
a
or gross
It's just supposed to be a
out?
I was
Well,
just grossed
well, the
out.
first one was
Well,
gross out.
there's horror movies. They're scary and there's disturbing, and I love both.
Yeah.
And I think those are supposed to be disturbing. But as
They
they
fail
as they
because I'm
progressed,
more
the problem that
prosthetics.
happened with those also is, and I've seen all of them. There's no way I can't watch a horror movie franchise. But as they progressed, they started to tease you with stuff more than they would actually show you, because I don't know why.
I
The
actually
story
like how
got
they
so
wove the
convoluted.
story, and it was a little convoluted.
It was a
But it really there's no point in those movies where I really was like, whatever. Like I really bought into a lot of the little details that they had series. I thought it was pretty clever all in all.
I just don't know. I couldn't get with it for some reason. I really wanted to, and I honestly, because I'm very apologetic when it comes to horror movies, because I just love the genre.
Mhm.
I think it really, for me, and I'm different than everybody else. It was just a look. It looked too much like a music video or a video game. I couldn't just invest myself
Yeah.
in it.
Mhm.
I don't believe you on that one.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're asking that question, if I'm given the choice, I would rather have a new franchise, a new really
Yeah.
cool killer franchise.
You
But-
know what I'd rather have? I'd rather have a great, not one more great Halloween film like H2O.
Well, I would.
Something to wash the taste out of your mouth from Resurrection.
Of Resurrection, the Rob Zombie
Oh
stuff.
God.
I kind of like the first Rob Zombie.
I didn't
movie.
like it.
Resurrection.
It made Michael Myers too human.
I agree. Michael Myers needs to be that basically supernatural evil.
He's
Well,
just
carnage.
the
I
shape. That
guess
was his
I
main-
guess. Well, you're sitting here,
Credits.
then you're going against what you just said, that Michael Myers is just a dude that kills people. If
Well,
you
he
mean
was-
that
he was a
as
dude
what
that
he
kills
is,
people, but
then the
he
Rob
was
Zombie one is more accurate.
Well, in the original, he was Michael Myers. That was his original name. He became the Shape. He was this unstoppable.
Donald
sort of
Pleasant's character,
force.
Dr. Loomis, said from the very
He was
beginning,
nothing
he was a
supernatural
represent.
until-
Dr. Loomis said from the beginning that he was a representation of pure evil.
Yeah.
From the beginning, when he was in that hospital.
It was always set up to be what he basically became, this
Yeah.
unstoppable evil force.
And what I love, that's part of what made that franchise so great is Loomis.
yeah,
because-
Absolutely.
Yeah.
that's also rough.
Donald Pleasance was just, and the crazier he got in the franchise, the more I loved it. And when he was all burned and walking with a cane, but still determined to kill.
at my head.
That's
Yeah.
the only thing about H2O that I missed, but I understand why
Well,
he
I mean,
wasn't. Yeah,
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Yeah,
But
I thought Malcolm McDowell was a reasonable.
he was.
I do.
Yes.
Actually, Malcolm McDowell is probably the thing I like most about.
Which
yeah.
is shocking.
But
because
it
anything
probably
anything Malcolm McDowell in nowadays is like, oh God, that can't be good.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know if he was in the remake.
He's reverted to the
Yeah.
Clockwork Orange character.
he was also an Easy A.
He's going to do the super violence or
He-
whatever.
He was amazing in Resident Evil. What Revelation?
He was also
He was
Whatever.
horrible.
he was
I was
also he
horrible.
was an Easy A.
Well, oh, he was an Easy A.
He was
Like, I do have a good example of, well, not I won't say recent, but more recent than Clockwork Orange. Who's the villain in Tank Girl? That was great. He was great in that.
Well,
Tank Girl was horrible.
You know what was-
Shut
All
up.
right.
Shut your mouth. You're wrong.
Okay, all right.
Wait. Speaking of Tank Girl, we'll go to TV and let's talk about Orange is the New Black.
I
Because guess what?
I knew what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
I just didn't know how he was going to do it.
Okay, we're not going to talk long about Orange is the New Black. Well, Nico hasn't seen it either, so
I don't care.
and I know you don't care.
Oh,
Here's the funny thing I do want to say
Good, me
about
and you'll have a conversation.
Yeah, we're just going to talk for a minute about it, but you'll be curious because it's spoiler free.
Okay.
I said this to Mike as I was watching it, because I watched the entire thing this weekend. I think you did too.
Yes.
The first season in particular, and the second season too, it was total water cooler type show for me. Every episode was had a really stunning ending, and I just had to see the next one. This season, I can promise you, is not that at all.
Okay.
I couldn't at one point figure out why I was continuing to watch it. because there isn't an important, groundbreaking, epic, overarching story that really applies in this season. And I think we came up with it in conversation that it's just because over the previous 2 seasons into now, the characters have been so well developed. You're just curious about the characters. It's just a character study almost this season because there's no big story, nothing that's really
It's almost
gripping.
like they just totally gave up the idea of any kind of arc.
So was this
We're
basically
just gonna
more
have little character vignettes.
almost sitcom-esque? Just situational, episodic stories?
Kind
Maybe
of.
like an hour-long
Darker, because
sitcom.
in some ways this season has some darker moments than we've seen. There's
But
a few,
and they all come from the characters, though.
yeah, and it's not like a story that impacts or anything. And then the finale, I was like, whatever. What?
I liked the finale, but it wasn't
like the payoff of the second season.
No,
Oh God,
which
no.
was built.
Which I think may have been on purpose. I think they may have been purposely trying to contrast that. But
Well-
then again, you got it's kind of at the end of it, it's almost like, well, it's just kind of a waste. You know, it's like it's a whole wasted season because nothing really happened. Sure, you learned a lot and you heard some interesting stories and you got to know some people, but nothing happened.
Yeah.
You know what? I never got out
I
of
shouldn't say nothing happened.
What happened, but nothing that's over. That's going to be an impact.
Yeah.
Like you could skip this season and go into the next one almost, and not worry about any changes in the characters really.
the weird thing I thought about when it so Orange is the New Black dropped. I almost forgot it was time. Like it was a week before. It's like, oh yeah,
And
Orange is the New
it
Black
dropped early.
Well, I know it dropped early, but
Yeah.
I mean a week before it dropped early. It's like Orange is the New Black is coming out this weekend. I'm like, oh yeah, that's happening again.
Well,
It's like, it was-
Netflix did a pretty good job of letting me know. I think I got a notification on my phone.
Hey,
when that
Dwayne,
was out.
I got
an email.
I got the notification when that happened, but it was so weird. Instead of I've gotten I don't know, it's just like other shows I've been getting notifications about. Like there was no way I missed that Daredevil was happening or the House of the New Card season 3 was happening, but I almost missed that this one was happening. I don't know if it's because Orange is the New Black, while very critically acclaimed, may not be turning out to be as popular as some of their other properties.
What I think is funny is for me.
I hear that Sense 8 is amazing.
Okay, let's talk about Sense8 for a minute. My review goes up tomorrow, actually.
Okay.
I've watched the entire season. I'm not going to spoil this, but there is one sexual thing that ties Sense8 to Orange is the New Black. Mike doesn't talk
Do they
about.
take place in the same universe?
No, they do not.
They
Okay,
could, I mean,
Sense8. Do you know about Sense8?
I keep seeing it on my feed.
Okay, Sense8 is a series produced by the Wachowski brothers.
I'm out.
Well, here's the thing, and this is what I told them about it, is everything that the Wachowskis do I said brothers. Oh. Siblings. Everything that they do that's cool is cool in this series.
Oh,
Wait,
is it a remake of Speed Racer?
but everything that they do that almost weighs their films down so much it destroys them is also here. They have this show that has a really cool concept and basic philosophy, but they invest in it so much and they think it's so cool that the hyperbole and it just weighs it down so much. But what's great,
It's not really surprising coming from
but this is what's great, is it's so many episodes that the story is able to be cool enough to just push through all that crap. There was a couple of times I fast-forwarded, and I'm not going to lie, because you have these big, long scenes of they're
exposition.
well, not even exposition. Like, there's a long sequence where music is playing, and you're getting emotional responses from people, and it goes for like 5 minutes. And I could watch that in fast-forward mode and see it in 45 seconds and get all what they're trying to say. So I was like,
Kind of like the end of Cold Case.
yeah. But basically, the gist of the show is there are clusters of people all over the world, 8 people in each cluster, that things happen that cause them to be completely connected. Mentally, emotionally, everything. Like, they can speak each other's language, they have each other's skills, everything. And they can actually interact with each other through their mental connection. Like one person is in Korea and another one is in Africa. Well, when they interact, they can see through each other's eyes where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where it becomes interesting is they're able to use each other's skills. One guy, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but he's about to get his butt kicked, and all of a sudden, the woman he's connected to in Korea, she's a martial arts pro. I mean, hardcore. And he starts beating the crap out of the people that were going to beat him down, and he doesn't know why.
I hope I would get connected to MacGyver.
That would be amazing. Well, that
No.
the problem is
America's
they introduce a bad guy in episode 1 who's actually pretty compelling. You want to know what his deal is? He doesn't come back for about 8 episodes, 9 episodes. The rest of it is character development, all these 8 characters and what's going on in their lives, and some actually surprisingly funny moments when the connection happens and they're not ready for it and that kind of thing. The big warning I'll give you though is they do have a message that they're trying to push. It's pretty. If you're, you watch Spartacus, so you don't. You know how to deal with this. There's a lot of gay sex in it.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot.
Oh.
There's some straight sex too, and some attractive, female bodies to look at. But it's an agenda. There's a little bit of an agenda in there, and you can feel it. But I don't know. Honestly, I think it's almost worth a look because the concept is fun. Some of the actors are
I would
pretty
like to give it a
intriguing.
look. Yeah.
And the action sequences are really well done for TV. I mean, the fight scenes, stuff like that, are really cool. And it all sort of begins to tie together by the end of the season.
I know Netflix produces, but that doesn't mean they necessarily develop and create. So, but I would be curious to know if some of the fight team off of Daredevil would maybe have some.
I would wonder that too. I don't know. But the thing that's crazy about Netflix right now is every time I go in there, it seems like they've got a new Netflix original.
Yeah, and that's what I think
where did
happened
that
with
come
Orange
from?
Is the New Black. It's just like it maybe got buried.
I saw something else about they've got this show that's going weekly. That
Yeah, I think it's like a kid show or something.
is that what it is?
I don't remember. I think they are doing kid shows that way,
Which is weird because everything else has been full season. You watch it, whatever.
I get that for the kid shows, I guess.
It's kind of odd. Anyway,
because to me, kids invented it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I ended up giving, and I'll just go ahead and tell you because if you want to see more about it, you can read the review when it goes up. But I ended up giving it 7.5, 7.5 out of 10, and it's only because the two things is that gushing, look how cool we are stuff, and the agenda that they have.
It's just a bit overt.
It's heavy. It's heavy, but watch it anyway. It's fun.
Okay. Something else I'm actually looking forward to. Starz is making Neil Gaiman's acclaimed fantasy novel American Gods into a TV show. The show, which has enlisted Brian Fuller from Hannibal and Michael Green from The River as showrunners, does not yet have a premiere date, nor has it started filming, and it's not cast yet. But it's going to happen on Starz, which is not a story we've ever heard.
It's true. I mean, we've heard that this thing has been.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been wanting to do this for a long time.
Gaiman will serve as an executive producer on the project, which is based on his book from 2001 about a brewing war between old and new gods, told through the story of a protagonist ex-con named Shadow Moon. Quote from Gaiman, "I'm thrilled, scared, delighted, nervous, and a ball of glorious anticipation. The team that is going to bring the world of American Gods to the screen has been assembled like the master criminals in a caper movie. I'm relieved and confident that my baby is in good hands." American Gods was originally to be developed by HBO, who was at the point riding high on the Game of Thrones success, but they ended up losing the option after failing to deliver a script. An executive who worked on that eventually brought the project to her new post at Fremantle Media, who worked on it with Starz. Starz, of course, has seen some success currently with Outlander, previously mentioned with Spartacus. Quote, Starz CEO Chris Albrecht, "Starz is committed to bringing American Gods to its legions of fans. With our partners at Fremantle Media and with Brian, Michael, and Neil guiding the project, we hope to create a series that honors the book and does right by the fans who have been casting it in their mind for years."
I think it's a fascinating story. Mike and I had this discussion the other day because he recommended a book to me, and I still can't get through it. And I think the problem is British written stories. I mean, and I love Hitchhiker's Guide, so I don't understand this. But generally, if it's got this sort of dry approach to writing or something, it just does. I can't latch onto it, and it's worse when you listen to audio and it's like a British narrator. I don't know. I can't stick with it. And I had that same issue with American Gods. I was so excited for it because I thought it was a cool idea, and I couldn't get through it. So I'll watch the show.
I don't know if I ever thought it felt dry. I mean, I like the book, and I'm looking forward to the series. I think the seeing it in video and in actual show will probably help that problem. Especially since your point about British dryness, it's going to be American produced.
Yeah.
So there's that.
But I do like some British produced shows. I like Torchwood.
Yeah.
And other things, but I don't know. It's weird. I don't like Doctor Who though. Sadly, I know I should because I know you do and you do. But
Everybody else in the room, I do.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Well,
oh, you got something to comment with that?
Holy crap! I gotta start liking it.
Obviously, it's a
I'd
better
say,
show
like,
than you
I'd
give
give
it
it
credit
a
for.
good try. Just...
All right, new on Blu-ray this week. There's a lot of crap coming out, and then there's Chappie Run All Night, The Newsroom Season 3, and The Lazarus Effect.
No
And
Spirited Away Blu-ray?
That's
Yeah,
a reissue. I barely.
No, it's not. Spirited Away hasn't.
sure?
Spirited Away hasn't been on Blu-ray yet.
You sure?
It's not a reissue.
Okay,
I got
maybe
the
that's
Japan
it.
version.
Okay, well that's it. I didn't include it because I thought it was a reissue because I would swear I saw it, but maybe.
I mean, I have the.
Well, then Spirited Away also. on Blu-ray.
I get that Spirited Away won the Oscar. I wasn't that impressed with it. It's not. It's better than The Wind Rises. I'll say that.
All right.
In comics, we actually have a story. Iron Man, the superhero crown jewel of the Marvel movies, and writer Brian Michael Bendis has his way. Tony Stark and his armored alter ego will be on top of the comic book A-list too. The upcoming series Invincible Iron Man, featuring the Ultimate Spider-Man creative team of Bendis and artists David Marquez and Justin Ponzer, debuts in October.
I'm excited.
In addition to 50 or 60 new number ones that are part of Marvel's all-new, all-different Marvel relaunch.
I can't wait.
A quote from editor-in-chief of Marvel, Axel Alonso, having an inspired Bendis tackle that character and bringing his gift for gab, not only crafting great stories, but that ear for great dialogue is going to bring a whole new dimension to the comic book page. Guardians of the Galaxy became a really big comic hit when Bendis started writing it before the movie came out. The Marvel editorial was tasked this year with similarly raising the status of Iron Man, adds David Gabriel, Senior Vice President of Marvel Sales and Marketing. Quote from him, "The only way you did that at Marvel is put Brian Bendis on the book."
It's usually true.
We really want to see Iron Man at the top of the sales charts, the way the world sees him at the top of the movie charts, all over the world. So, as a veteran from Spider-Man, X-Men, and the Avengers, as well as major crossover events, Bendis has written Tony Stark before, just never on his book. And the thing that really convinced him was when he saw Iron Man 3, and he was kind of impressed with some of the character moments from that.
I'm really interested if that's his real inspiration for this new book. It could be really cool.
I think so too. So it was basically Bendis talks about when he saw the ending of Iron Man 3 and Robert Downey Jr. Looks down with the screwdriver in the rubble, knowing that he could just build his life back up again. And that was kind of the impetus of the movie, basically what he would do for Iron Man 4. He calls the Invincible Iron Man, quote, a futurist's look at what he has to do next as a superhero. The series picks up 8 months after the conclusion of the current Secret Warrior story. Tony wants to be a better man in every aspect. The current superior Iron Man has him pretty much being an asshole.
Douchey, yeah.
Yeah, douchey asshole. First issue also has a whopper of a climax. And Bendis teases, quote, we have a story for him that he's never been involved with before, and that challenges him as a character. That's the good stuff.
What I love is he I don't know if you skipped it or took it out or whatever, but he even includes the screwdriver from the third movie in the artwork of his comic.
Well, you didn't post the photo, so that's why I took it out.
Okay.
But he's also getting a new suit design. It's a bit more streamlined Iron Man suit, but it's back to the red and gold, which has been kind of missing a bit. I'm looking. I like it. I like this suit design. It's like I said, streamlined, but it still very invokes the classic feel. They're gonna include bits of recent runs, like Kieran Gillen's run on Iron Man revealed that apparently Tony is adopted, and they're gonna go into aspects of that. I didn't know that either until I stopped reading it really early on, so I didn't notice that. But I am really looking forward to this.
I love Brian Michael Bendis. That dude, it's true. What he touches is gold.
Yeah, Bendis is one of my favorite writers. I
too.
love most of his work. Not everything, but
Now, I don't know. I think he was not able to save the X-Men.
I like his X-Men work,
but I don't know. I couldn't get there. I just couldn't get there for some reason.
But
I wanted Matt Fraction to save the X-Men also, and he didn't do it either.
Bendis did a much better job with the X-Men, and X-Men has been selling well for Marvel for Bendis. Both his all new X-Men, bringing the original team to the future, and then the Uncanny X-Men.
Ooh, I haven't read that.
Yeah, that was the whole thing of all new X-Men. The whole point, like issue 1 is after the events of like Avengers versus X-Men and Cyclops went nuts and killed Professor Xavier. Basically dealing with the fallout of that, and Beast decides we've strayed too far from the path. We need to get like a refresher. Let's bring ourselves from the past when we were still all bright-eyed and optimistic to kind of show us the way again. And the original 5 X-Men go into the future.
Iceman 2?
Yeah, Iceman 2.
Oh, wow.
That's where the story a month or two ago.
Iceman's cool.
That's where the story a month or two ago when Iceman was being outed as gay happened, because he's in the present.
Does he still make his magical bridge?
Yeah, that still happens.
Yes.
And the weird thing is...
the bridge with no end.
Yeah, so... all new X-Men has been really good. There was a really cool kind of like dimensional hopping thing where the past version of the 616 X-Men get sent to the Ultimate Universe, so they meet that X-Men.
It's confusing.
It is confusing, but it's really good.
Dimensional travel is very confusing.
It's true. And
I still don't understand Buckaroo.
Whereas Uncanny X, well, you have to be, a rocket scientist and everything else that Buckaroo Banzai is.
It's true.
I tried to grow up to be that.
The Uncanny X-Men book is basically Cyclops and his new team dealing with the fact that they're on the run now, government's after them, and he's still trying to get back to we need to protect the mutants. So, and that's also a really good book as well. So I like.
All right, maybe I should take a look.
I like them all.
I'm caught up on Secret Wars and I'm enjoying it.
I'm too caught up on Secret Wars.
Talk about confusing though. It is confusing a little bit. It is a little weird. It is hard to follow. It's not the Secret Wars that I grew up with. That's for damn sure.
The Secret Wars that you grew up with was a toy commercial.
And it was so much cool.
Yeah, but I like this one. It introduces a lot of cool aspects. I broke the bank buying a lot of the tie-in books the last time. I bought Renew Your Vows.
I did too, and I don't understand what the deal is. It's like they don't explain anything. It's just, we're back to normal.
Well, no, the point of the book is it basically picks up from like late 80s, early 90s Spider-Man. It's that Spider-Man. It's not the one that necessarily undid the marriage. So
I thought they were going to explain the undoing of the marriage.
No, that's not the point of the book. So a lot of these tie-ins are just basically alternate realities that are within
so I'm guessing somehow at the end of Secret Wars, all these alternate realities are going to get crushed into it.
Some of them may be merged in, some of them just may be wiped away, and it's just a fun little thing.
Because this weird Doctor Doom thing with Doctor Strange being the sheriff, and it's like...
And Doom being a god.
It's like medieval times or something.
I had to explain it. My roommate, one of my roommates was reading some of the books, because she's an old school X-Men fan.
Yeah.
So there was like X Inferno, like the Inferno book, that's the tie-in for that, and the Years of Future Past, and she read those. And I had to explain, because every time they made a god reference, they said Doom. Because in this world, the current Secret Wars thing, Doom is God. He basically remade the world.
If you wanted to be blasphemous, it would be like a tongue twister. You just go, Doom, damn it. Right?
Yeah,
Doom, damn it.
And that's basically what people do in the books. Old Man Logan was great. I love that one. And it's also a Bendis book. It's basically this whole...
You're too behind. Is that what you're saying?
Huh?
You're too behind?
I'm not. I'm caught up on Secret Wars. And
okay.
But I'm like the tie-ins, like Old Man Logan, Renew Your Vows, Inferno was fine. Years of Future Past was okay. I probably read some other ones. Planet Hulk was fun.
I read Renew Your Vows, and I got Battle World.
I haven't read Battle World
to see if that was going to be a little bit more representative of kind of the old.
The old just blood fights,
beat down fan fiction almost. But I was not completely sold on it because this alternate reality stuff. It feels like What If comics, which I'm.
What is what it is?
Yeah, and it's like I'm wasting my time because in the end it's not going to have any real impact.
I'm okay with that as long as the story's good. If it's a good self-contained story.
The reveal when they start talking about some people know what's going on.
Yeah, when you realize
whatever reason
Doctor Strange remembers everyone that was in basically their lifeboats.
That's when I got interested.
That was so weird when Doctor Strange like, yeah, I remember how everything was. I am actively choosing for Doctor Doom to be God in this universe.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
and it's like
what?
he even had the opportunity to be God, and he didn't want it, which is not typically what you expect from the douchebag Stephen Strange.
Well, I kind of do expect it, but that part didn't surprise me. I love the bit though when the 616 characters, when Reed Richards shows up, because there were some characters who were basically in a lifeboat and survived the merger of the universes, and they keep their memories intact. Reed Richards is talking to Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange's like, "You've been gone for like 8 years, and this all been here since." And he makes a reference to God, and Reed Richards goes, "What do you mean God? Who is God?" And he's like, "Oh, it's Doctor Doom." And Reed Richards flips his, we already said, shit, and it was awesome.
It was pretty.
What do you mean Doctor Doom is God? This is ridiculous. I really do enjoy it.
Like I said, a little confusing at times, but overall, it's pretty entertaining so far.
It's a fun ride. It's a fun roller coaster.
And I'm fascinated to see how it's going to end. How many issues is it? Do you know? It's going to be
6 or 8.
And it's like every 2 weeks, right?
Roughly. It's not. I don't think it's necessarily set because like the first issue was like 1 week. And
was there a new one today? You know?
No, there was not one today.
Okay, that's fine. That saved me $4.
But I can tell you what was new today.
What was new?
From Marvel, we have Armor Wars #2, Miss Marvel #16, Old Man Logan #2, Runaways #1, and Thor's #1. All of the Thors of the police force.
Yeah, I know. All the different eras of Thor, they're all comics. It's hilarious.
From DC, we have Black Canary #1, Dr. Fate #1, Harley Quinn and Power Girl #1, Justice League of America #1, and Robin, Son of Batman #1.
I might have to look at that. I always liked Dr. Fate.
And other titles, we have BPRD Hell on Earth #132, Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 10 #16, Ghostbusters.
I totally tasted that burp. That was disgusting.
God. Ghostbusters Get Real #1, Fiction #1, and Southern Bastards #9.
Southern Bastards. All right, cool. Remember something else I was going to say, comic book wise, but I forgot it. It's gone.
Okay.
What do you get to say for yourself? What are you looking at? You know we're on a show here. Broadcasting.
I read the
surfing Facebook.
I zoned out when comics came around.
What the?
You
need to be reading comic books.
I know. If I could, it's an expensive hobby.
I read the Star Wars comics.
Oh, did
Star Wars? Oh, I'm
those-
caught up on Star Wars.
With Han Solo's wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
Are
are amazing.
Are they really
I'm not
good?
crazy about the artwork. The Leia's nose looks a little puggish in a lot of frames.
I can.
But but the story's interesting. The story's great. But I'm just so used to 1,000-page novels. I can't get used to finishing a story, and it's just like it's just starting to something's getting started and then it's over.
Have you tried?
Thank God there were 6 issues.
Yeah.
Are you just reading the Star Wars book, or are you going into like some of the other ones like Darth Vader or?
No, I just read the Star Wars titles.
I really want to catch up with Darth Vader because I hear that's really good. I read a little bit of Princess Leia and I wasn't impressed, but Darth Vader seems to be really
I'm actually kind of very curious now. I may go back and pick up those because Vader is he's actually doing something. He's not just this hulking menace. He's actually being a badass, and it's
all right.
It's.
I haven't caught up on those yet.
Really,
I read the first one and liked it, but I haven't read the others.
You talked about how they nailed the characters, and they really have.
Yeah.
It's really great characterization.
And Boba Fett actually does something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I guess.
But yeah, you should read that. Well, you're an X-Men fan, but when you were a fan in like the '90s during like Inferno and stuff like that, you should read the Inferno book. It's like it's one of the Secret Wars like worlds.
I heard you mention that, and I didn't want to interrupt. Like,
so basically,
explain that.
Inferno happens in New York, and they fail to really stop it.
Ooh.
So basically, New York gets cordoned off. And the X-Men basically become like police characters, and Illyana stays captive. So Colossus keeps trying every year to break into Inferno and free Eliana, and it never works. And it's basically following his attempts. It's really fun. It's the X Factor team in their costumes.
Oh, nice.
Because you have other characters like Colossus, and you see some changes. There's a really cool thing that happens with Cyclops. As soon as I see it, I laugh my ass off. It's very much the son becomes the father bit.
I got really interested, or I was amused by the only reference to Inferno in the main book was during a Wolverine Punisher fight.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, they were saying I'll see you in hell or something, and Wolverine was like, wait till you see Inferno. And that was it. That was the only reference to it. So it did kind of make me want to pick that book up and take a look. So I probably will.
Yeah, Inferno was really good. Years of Future Past was okay. It basically takes place. It's in the future of Days of Future Past in that post-apocalyptic world, but it's a little bit more in the future. So Kitty and Colossus have a daughter. Wolverine apparently has a son who has weird powers.
I guess he would.
And there are other characters, but yeah, that's okay. But Inferno, in terms of the X books, and I haven't read X-Men 92 yet. X-Men 92 is a digital book; it's not being put in print. But I really want to read that.
Most calm, precise burp I think I've ever heard.
That's the new Olympic sport. Is it precision burping?
I guess so. At least I didn't actually taste that one like the other one that happened in the room.
I would like a 600 hertz tone.
So all of that's thanks to Dwayne providing us with, what is this?
308?
This is 30A, which is the little highway down in Florida in South Walton. This is by Grayton Beer, and it is their Beach Blonde Ale, and it's delicious.
It's good. It's a little bit.
It's a little
happy for me.
I like it.
I was grabbing some 6-packs of this every few nights down there. The brewery is really great. They have a number of things. They have a Founder's Ale that's kind of a brown. It was good. They had a wheat that wasn't my favorite. I like wheats that aren't too that just don't have a lot of spices. Like Blue Moon. Blue Moon is a good wheat beer to me.
Blue Moon's okay. Yeah.
And this one was on that track, but
I can see that similar to Blue Moon.
Yep.
All right, so Nico, where we find you on the internet?
You can find me at twitter.com/NicoScream and NicoScream on Tumblr.
Cool.
And go check out my Jurassic Park review.
The accurate review of the movie.
Let us know if you agree on my end of the spectrum, Zach's end of the spectrum, or Steven's middle end.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen a lot of reviews both my way and your way, so.
It is. It's kind of funny.
Interesting.
I think it's turned it into a little bit of a divisive movie. You either like it or you don't. So I'm the weird guy in the middle. I don't know.
I've seen some reviews where people are like, I. And there's some reviews that.
I believe those were called yours.
No. A friend of mine named Kurt is in Canada.
Well, same difference.
He hated it. He almost walked out. He hated it.
My imaginary friend Bill hated it.
Yeah. Bill first.
No.
All right, Dwayne, where find you on the internet?
Gosh, I wish I had time to get on the internet these days, but I don't.
You were just on your phone.
Yeah.
That's internet
The
connection.
entire comic book discussion.
I don't understand
Where
how
were
it
you?
works. But I will. Speaking of phones, I'll share a quick funny. My sister-in-law is going out of the country, and her phone is on my plan.
Mm-hmm.
So she writes me today, and she goes, "We're going to need international calling." And I was like,
Oh,
"What are you
Lord.
guys at?" I was like, "That's fine, because they cover whatever they use
Okay.
under the bill." So I was like, "That's no problem." And I looked up a plan. I said it's $40 and includes 100 minutes. And she writes me back and she goes, "Does that include Wi-Fi?" Well, Wi-Fi is not actually part of your plan. See, Wi-Fi is something that is on your phone.
Right.
Either has Wi-Fi or it doesn't have Wi-Fi.
Right.
I believe what you're talking about is a data packet. Yeah, we're data. We're data.
I'm with
Dad.
I'm with the data. I'm with the data.
So, yeah, I had to explain.
Oh, I hate
Wi-Fi
that.
to my sister-in-law.
She didn't already know.
Well, it needs
She
to
got
be
confused.
explained so you don't end up with a $20,000
Baby
cell phone bill.
Yeah.
Well, but what I'm thinking is she probably, in all honesty, I'm imagining they're at a resort or something, she probably doesn't even need the international calling. She can download an app.
There's two or
Travel
three really
Wi-Fi.
good apps that I've used for international calling over Wi-Fi that were
Just
great.
depending on where you're going, that the internet can be weird.
Mm.
The only reason I know is my parents tend to travel a little bit, and when they come back from somewhere, I'll get a report from Dad. Like, if I could work from here, but we went over here, I couldn't work from there.
And his dad sounds just like that too.
Actually, that
Not
no,
at all.
he, no.
Well, Mike, where will we find you on the internet?
CultureSmash TV,
I like that.
Google Plus under Clovis Chitwood, and I may be making a return to Twitter, which would be under CultureSmash. I'm thinking of taking up a second career of writing aphorisms.
That's scary.
I think I've come up with one like
I'm concerned.
mistakes are speed bumps on the way to success or busted oil pan. I've come up with one other one is the water follows the path of least resistance, just like lazy people.
Okay. All right.
If I can come up with more than two, I may jump back on Twitter.
There'll be like, is it going to be several, or is it going to be many? Because I want to know exactly how many to expect.
You need
just a few.
You need a backlog. You need to get a
I'm
bunch
going to do a
ready
backlog. That's why I've not done it already. I'm going to have at least
and then you
a
have
week's worth before.
And then you have to avoid
let go to
the want to just blow them all up there. You have to.
I'm not going to pull a Joe. I'm not going to run through like 30 ideas all in one meeting. So
Exactly.
I keep. There's only like one person in the room that watches Arrested Development and get that. Well, maybe two people that will get that joke.
Hey, it's on them, not on them.
Yeah.
Not on me.
I was about to say, Joe. Is that some guy you know?
See, sometimes you just have to say okay to Mike so he doesn't explain it to you. Because he will.
But sometimes you just have to not be
explanations
that.
will be worse. Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Zach, where do we find you on the internet?
You can find me losing at the Binding of Isaac Rebirth. You can also find me on Steam, Dangerous Mutant Lunatic. You can find me on Instagram, MasterTheRanks91. You can find me on YouTube, Space Mountaineer 91. You can find me on Facebook, and yeah, that's about it.
Well, you know what's really funny is soon enough you can find Zach reviewing the latest Shout Factory release of My Little Pony.
What?
Hey, I sent you a picture of that DVD.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it anywhere around here, so I just figured, okay, that's some joke.
No joke. I'll be putting that in your hand later. And
We
we got,
don't joke about
and
my
also
little
from what I'm excited for is I got the
Actually,
Decline of Western Civilization box set from Shout Factory, all 3 films.
Oh,
I
that's
can't
cool.
wait to get into that. Yeah. And then Catherine is going to be reviewing a tribute music thing. I don't know, I had Lady Gaga stuff in it. I don't know. Something. She liked it. Or she wants to watch it. Whether she likes it or not, it remains to be seen. But we got a lot of other stuff coming. I'm trying to post once in a while pictures on our Facebook page, little teasery pictures of stuff that we get in for review. So it's kind of a commitment thing, too. So if I post a picture of it on our Facebook and I pass it off to Mike, then you have to review it because people are expecting it. So,
Yes, people.
yeah, people and things. All right, we'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
So I've got to ask,